Hey there, Greater Heartland. My name is Clark Kendall. I serve as your regional technology trainer, and today we are focused on pumping up the value with your app and your site. So go along on this journey with us on identifying and discovering, maybe for the first time, how your app and, of course, coincidentally, your site can add value to the consumer. So we're going to walk through those highlights and also setting a few things up. So we're going to be short here today, about 30 minutes full on tech time. So follow along with us. And we're also going to point some articles out that'll be in the chat. I'll say, hope you find immense value on finding value for your consumer. Before we get started, here's why this conversation is important. While we are looking to grow our databases and gain more business, grow our businesses, we have to keep the consumer in mind. What we've learned from all the conversations we're having within Keller Williams about becoming a technology company and understanding what gains market share, it's all dependent on what the consumer wants, right? And then, of course, real estate is not alone in that. It's across all industries. We know that the consumer always wins. So we have created these tools for you that are completely free to you as a Keller Williams associate to add value to that consumer, what they're looking for. All right. So we're going to talk through those pieces today. Here's the layout. Okay. So we're going to do some brief setup, take about 5 minutes for that, getting all the pieces in line to be able to begin providing this value. And then we're going to go deeper into what that value is. What can your app and site currently provide for the consumer? All right. Then at the end, we'll do a few coming soons, a few little teasers that are coming up. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and jump into command because we're going to set up first here. All right. So let me go ahead and share this screen here. And from here, of course, you'll see command. And there's a couple of places, a couple of guides that we're going to go through. So I'm going to go ahead. The first thing where we need to go and make sure that all is right and everything is being marketed in the correct way for us as the agent, right? This is your app, your site. We want to make sure that you are front and center. Well, that's done through the marketing profile. So at the top right, I'm going to click on my name and I'm going to click on settings here. All right, so when I click on settings, here on the far left-hand side, we're going to click on connect settings. Here is where your marketing profile lives. All right, so as of today, we're at starting September of 2021. All your marketing information for your app and your site are here. Now, there will be a new place coming soon, but right now, as of September, the beginning of September 2021, this is where this information is being portrayed on your app and site. So going through this this marketing profile is important. You want to make sure you have your photo in there, team logo if you do have a logo, or just your business logo. You do not have to be in a team to upload your logo here. Making sure that all this information is accurate. Your name, your professional job title, designations or credentials that you might have. We have our new military affiliation that came out a couple of weeks ago, which is very exciting. Maybe by the time you're watching this, we have more affiliations here. Your biography, that's going to be important to be in here for your value proposition, your elevator pitch to the world. Of course, all your contact information, your market center information. You just want to make sure this marketing profile is up to date. For compliance, you have a couple of sections here. Reach out to your market center leadership, your amazing market center tech trainer, to go through that. All right. So you also have a spot here for your social media links, which will be important as they're navigating through to connect with you on social media. And you do have the ability to track usability, your users that are on your site and earning landing pages through Facebook Pixel and Google Analytics, right? First step, making sure your marketing profile is up to par and updated with the relevant information, right? So from there, next, we're going to go through a couple of guides. Now, in the comments section below, you will find two articles that come from answers.kb.com. If you haven't heard of answers.kb.com, anybody can access these. This is the library. The amazing folks at Keller Williams University have created this for us, and it's always updated. So you know if it's here, it's up to date, it's correct, and reliable. So there's two articles here. The first one is get started with a KW app, and the second one is get set up your agent site. Right. So we are focused on the app primarily today. And also we'll see that really what we can do in the app is also in the site. But these two articles will be helpful and necessary to begin providing value to your app. Now, here's the good news. If you haven't gone through these apps or these setups here before, the consumer can go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, download the app and find you as an agent. All right. It's important that you put your headshot in there and your logos so they, while they look for your name, that you actually, they see you and recognize you. Um, so on that, just know that even if you haven't gone through these setups, your app still exists. People can connect with you, and yet we do want to go through these. So I'm going to focus on this first article, just the first step, because there's a lot to these guides here that we're not going to spend too much time on, but we're just going to touch on the first step. So here it's going to say, click here to access your KW app in Kelly Guide and Command. Now, being as I'm already logged in Command, I can click on this link, and it's going to take me through this Kelly Guide. Now, I've gone through this Kelly Guide multiple times through trainings, and so I won't be able to go fully through this, but this is a very easy step-by-step process that you want to go through to get your app fully functional, and also a little feature for your site. So when I click on Get Started, I'm going to go ahead and click Next here. It's just walking me through what all I will connect with. So here it's going to be, what are the consumer settings? What are we wanting them to see? So here on the far right-hand side, I'm going to click on App Download, hit this little arrow. And then this tells me what if someone is directed to my landing page, which they can be through a specific link, or what that hero text says. All right. So this is just saying if people happen to be on a laptop and want to connect with your app, what do they see as a hero image? You can change that there. But what we really want to focus on and why this guide is helpful for you is this app URL. This URL right here is something that you want to write down, you want to copy, save it, bookmark it, save it to your phone, save it everywhere, because this specific link, as you use it and you begin to communicate the value out there to all the consumers, to your database, if they use this link, and you'll notice here, mine has a very specific code, just like everyone's does, this is connected with you as the agent. So in practice here, in real world, if I texted this link to my database, right, and say my mom, so I text out this link to my mom, and she opens it, it will take her to either the App Store or the Google Play Store, and she downloads my app. The nice thing about that is it automatically connects, it brands to me as the agent. This link is important, right? You cannot change the app here. You can maybe make your own custom URL and redirect it to this link if you want, but this is the link that we want to use to easily brand it to us as the agent for our app. Now, the second section here, app text code. We will see some changes in this Kelly Guide in the future, eventually dissolving this Kelly Guide. And so this app text code is something that is no longer in existence. Okay, so don't use the app text code. No one can text this message to 87778 and go essentially through the same process as sharing your app. So just be mindful that this app text code is being sunsetted. Next here is going to go through your featured listings. Now, I've already gone through this Kelly Guide, so it's not going to allow me to go through it further because I've checked the box. I've done the work here already. You will need to go through the step and just say, okay, well, what do I want my featured listings collection to be called? So here on the far right-hand side, you see I named mine Super Duper Homes. So the nice thing about these featured listings are when you go through this Kelly Guide, it's going to enable your featured listings, and you can name them whatever you want. And when we go to somebody downloads your app or goes to your website, these featured listings will be visible for everyone. All right, that's really cool, especially with the app. It's going to come in the form of a collection, which we'll touch on. So remember featured listings and collections once we go to demonstrate these. All right, so I've already got this set up. And so if I were to click go to settings, it's going to take me to my featured listings to set these up or change my featured listings if I want. I'm not going to do that just yet. So as I hit save and continue, I've gone through the first Kelly Guide. Second Kelly Guide here, if I click on my second article to set up your agent site, it does show me where I can go to find this other Kelly Guide. Okay. This is important because it's going to be in Command, right? So I'm back here in Command. I've already got my consumer settings Kelly Guide done. I need to find my site Kelly Guide. It's going to be found here under Consumer at the bottom of these icons. And then from here, I'm going to click on Configure My Site. All right, so when I do that, I want to make the first selection here. I want to use the KW sites and hit submit. And being as I've already gone through this Kelly Guide, it has been taken care of for me. So just like that other Kelly Guide, I've already completed this task. I got the nice little message. However, this article will be helpful to go through in this Kelly Guide for the first time. So again, it's in the chat. make sure you walk through these articles to get things set up. All right. If you have any questions about this, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Definitely reach out to your Market Center tech trainer. We have one in every single one of our offices in Keller Williams. They're your amazing boots on the ground, people to ask questions and to guide through your business through our technology. So let's go ahead and move forward here. Let's start talking about the value that we have within our site and app. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is how our consumer experience is very neighborhood driven. All right, so I'm going to go share a different screen here. And the screen that I'm sharing is actually my app, my live app. All right, so let me go ahead and make sure I add that there. So here you'll see this is the app as it's on my phone. All right, now if you remember in a previous training, we walked through downloading this app and registering as the consumer, you pretending to be your first consumer, your client, and you coming in automatically as a lead into command into your contacts database, right? If you haven't, if you need to download this app for the first time, go back and watch that training, whether it's here on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, and it's called Power on Your Business. All right. So we are in the app here, and what do I mean by being neighborhood driven? Well, as you will notice here, and I'm going to make sure that we can see this really well. All right. So while we're in the app here, you'll notice that it will kind of identify your location or wherever you're at. And we're going to start focusing on some neighborhoods. Now, what you'll notice here is that I currently, if I were to zoom in, that my neighborhoods are not, or there they are. They are, once you zoom in, that they start popping up. So all these lines right here are neighborhood boundaries based on based on the boundaries through the Nextdoor social media platform. All right, so we have an exclusive relationship to use their boundaries. It's very popular. And so we can become very neighborhood driven through that partnership. All right, so you'll notice here that when I did toggle or zoomed in a little bit, that my neighborhoods were toggled on here. So you'll notice this little button that says the neighborhoods are on. So if I did not want to see those neighborhood boundaries, I can just select off and they go away. But if I click them on, you'll notice that they show back up. So every single neighborhood, as you see the boundaries here, does have a label to it, right? So you'll notice here, if I click on the neighborhood Cox Hill, that a little bar comes up from the bottom and it gives me some information, some real estate data and neighborhood data for Cox Hill. All right. So you'll notice that as we begin to move around here, if I slide this up, that it gives me a market snapshot of what's going on, current homes that are for sale in that neighborhood. I can look through these really easily, which is nice. And I even have some information about what locals say, commute times. I can actually save spots, points of interest, whether it's my home or work or kids' schools or communities I'm a part of, and can easily identify how far of a distance this neighborhood is, and listings are as well. So I can set up those commute times. But the nice thing about this, okay, there's school ratings, ratios, all that great information, right? Some even Yelp reviews that are built into here. And this is just this one neighborhood, right? So the great thing about being so neighborhood driven in this way, I'm really able to be the hyper local expert, right? Not just the expert of my zip code or my city, any neighborhood that people are interested in, they can become aware. And I get to provide that information through my app. Same deal on the site. So if I were to go into my site and log in as a consumer or just view it without even registering, I would see the same data. It's very, very congruent with the app experience that we see here. So one of the things I love about this is, you know what? Me as a consumer, I'm in the market, I'm looking for different homes, and I come across a neighborhood that I really like, right? I see Cox Hill here. I want to see some information. You know what? I want to follow this home. Well, what does it mean to follow? When you follow a neighborhood, what that does, make sure I hit that button there correctly. My little cursor might be a little off. There we go. All right, so I followed that neighborhood. So what does that mean? That means it created a kind of like a saved search for me, right? And we'll get to that point in a moment. But know that this is very neighborhood driven to where I can follow different neighborhoods. I can become aware of listings that come to market, anything that changes in that area, and be able to easily access it, right? So there's a lot of other pieces here to talk about, but being neighborhood driven is so focal to this app experience and also other pieces of command to where we can easily provide neighborhood updates on either every 2 week basis or every monthly basis through email, and also, of course, by following neighborhoods in the app. All right, so neighborhood driven is number one. Next, let's go into our second value add here, and that is what we like to call collaborative collections. All right, so as I'm looking through a home here, I am going to just kind of move away from this neighborhood. And I'm just going to begin looking at some homes here. So let me actually remove my neighborhood. I'm just going to click on a listing here. So let's say I'm looking at listings. I click on this home, and actually that's a new construction. So let me click on a different one here. Okay, so this house is brand new to market. So I begin to look at it, and I realized that, you know what, this is really a sharp home. I'm looking through the photos. I kind of like it. Let me save this. I want to save this. I want to favorite, heart it, and I want to access it later. So when you favorite a home, you'll see the save button right here. This will prompt you to save to collections. All right. Now, you have a lot of options here. You can create a brand new collection from this first save that you have. Every consumer, when they register and get access to your app, you will have your own. All right. So, for the sake of this portion here, I will just go ahead and add another collection, and let's call this. Oops, let me move over here. Training collection. All right. So as I do that, I want to make sure that I also select that I added it to the training collection. Oops, I might have went too fast there. Training collection. And I'm going to save that. Move that out of the way. Save. And all right, I saved it to my training collection. So what do I mean by collaborative collections, right? So me as a consumer, I've downloaded my app, I've been saving homes. I can invite other people into my collections, whether it's a buyer, a co-buyer, some family members, my own agent here. I have to currently, as it sits, I get to opt in who I want to be to see and share on this collection, right? So I'm going to use an example of a collection I've had for a while. My wife, she has her app on her phone, and she created her own collection. What's automatically created as she logged in, it says Annette's favorites. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate here. Let's say if I wanted to back out of here and go to my collections, get that out of the way. There we go. Well, come on now, go away for me. All right. So it's just being a little sticky with my cursor here. Trying to be very visual. And now I want to make sure that this actually goes away. Tell you what, let me remove this real quick. I think my cursor is kind of really affecting some things here. So we'll just have to follow along without it. All right. There we go. So sorry for the little problem with the cursor there. So the little red cursor will have to be gone for now. Maybe next time. So how do I get to my collections? Right. So I've saved one home, and at the very bottom here, you'll see the little spot that says saved with a heart. So at any point I can go in the app and click that heart, and it shows all the collections. You'll see the training collection that I just saved, and I can filter through all these collections. All right. Now, one collection that I want to point out here is Annette's favorite. This is my wife's collection that's on her phone. She added me as a collaborator. So she put in my email here, and I'll walk through this process out of collaborator, but she invited me to this collection. And now I can see any home that she adds to this collection, and vice versa. If I had add homes here, I get to see them all the app. The great thing is we both get an email once somebody added a property or added a listing to the collection. So to add a collaborator, here's how you can be very invite somebody into a collection. At the very top right, you have your three dots. So if you click on those three dots, you can hit add a collaborator, and you put in their information and email, and it'll automatically send them an email to invite them to collection to download the app. The great thing about this is for you as the agent is If that person who they invited into their collection is not in your database, they also become a lead. Super awesome, right? So here's what I love about this, right? We've gone through that process. Annette added me as a collaborator to this collection, and now I get to see homes that are added, right? Well, that's great. That's handy. I don't have to send text messages back and forth or screenshots or other links from other websites that in the same text thread that we're talking about planning for dinner or trying to make it to the next kid's sports game. It's all here in the collection where it needs to be. So what I love about this is, as she added this one, let's just focus on 631 North Benton Avenue. All right. So as she adds this, let's say, you know what, I go to look at it. I'm kind of going through here, looking at the photos, looks really cool. Just like any other listing here, I could schedule a video tour with my agent or ask a question about it. But here underneath here, you'll see add note. So if I hit a button here, I can put a note in here that says, love the location. Okay. If I save that, the nice thing is that note is also brought over into Annette's phone, right? So this is a great, great way for us to be on the same page about certain properties as collaborators. So that's how it exists today. What you'll end up seeing over the next few months here, that this collaborator is going to evolve into more of a co-buying and co-selling experience. All right. So again, as of September 2021, this is a great value to, again, collaborate in collections with others. And yet this is going to evolve into be even more robust and rich experience through being adding co-buyers and co-sellers. So stay tuned for that. But a lot of our agents are utilizing this collection piece right now with their buyers and sellers for the purposes of getting them further down their journey. And it's not just to look at homes. Some of our agents are utilizing a collection for the upcoming weekend showings. Right. So the agent, you as an agent, as I have my own app here, right, I can create my own collection and invite my buyers as collaborators, right? And I can add the 5 homes that we're going to see this upcoming Saturday. And of course, they'll be able to open up their app and I can direct them, hey, while we go through these homes, open up your app, click on this home, add any notes that you think about it, right? Because sometimes, we can't remember all the things we like or don't like about a home. We'll have it all in this app. We can and just jog our memory a little bit, right? So great value piece there. Also, some of our agents are bringing the app and inviting collaborators to the listing table for comps, right? For current homes that are on the market or pending. Presently, that's what we have. Solds are a little bit more of a challenge there if you're looking full comparable properties here, but at least allowing the sellers to create a collection and add homes that are similar to theirs. You can do that as the agent. So they are aware of homes that are coming or other competitions coming. It's a great piece to add there. All right. So collaborative collections, an amazing tool to streamline and take the mess out of sharing properties that our consumers currently have. Next here, and definitely one of my favorites, is what we call the agent-driven guides. Now, I'm going to roll through this real fast. Agent-driven guides are such a phenomenal tool for agents to use. It's hard to even begin what opportunity you have in front of you with these buyer and seller guides. And this is exclusive. I mean, no other app has this. So at the very bottom here, when you're in your app here, if you just open it up, you see the guide in the bottom, and it's right in the middle. It says guide. So presently we have a buyer's guide and a seller's guide. Now, as soon as somebody downloads your app or anybody downloads the KW app, you have a very generic guide that is of high value. It communicates several different steps through the process, but the goal here is walking the consumer through step by step on the journey of buying a home or selling a home. Okay? Again, right out of the box, there's steps here that you can begin to utilize, but you as the agent can fully customize these. I don't know of a better, more cutting edge, today's technology way of communicating your value proposition to agent than these buyer seller guides. This is definitely something to bring to the buyer consult or to the listing presentation, listing consult, to understand what you do for them, you specifically, your business, whether you as a solo agent or your team, to communicate your value proposition every single step. You can fully customize this, brand this yourself. So you'll see here, I've got virtual consult, find your favorites, virtual home tours. These are some of the pieces that I've customized. Yet I'll walk through and command where to set these up, but just know that on these buyer and seller guides, the consumer, your clients, potential clients, can mark off these steps themselves. If I come in here, virtual home tours, me as a consumer, I can mark that step as completed. And then if I exit out here, you'll notice that it's got a little check mark for virtual home tours. So the check mark's on the left-hand side. The next spot is making an offer in my guide, right? Same for selling. I can go through all these guides, mark these off. You can also check off these steps for your consumer, all right, within command. I'll say that again. Yes, the consumer can check off their own boxes here, but you as the agent can go into an opportunity so long as your person is in your database, they've downloaded and registered your app. So long as you've created an opportunity for them, you can begin checking off these steps for them. Pretty powerful way to be on top of things and giving them instant information of where they're at in the process and always knowing what is next. All right. So I'll put a link in the comments there for another answers.kb.com article that walks through doing that, because based on our time today, would probably be pretty tough to go through all that. So the buying and selling guides are super awesome. What I will do is just give you a quick preview here. I'm going to share a different screen and show you where you can set up these guides. Yes, I'll put an article and how to go into details of checking off boxes for these consumers. And yet I do want to show you where to get this done. So if I'm in consumer here, same spot, here at the top, you have your guide builder tab. When I click on this guide builder, here's where you'll see my template for the buying and selling guides. Here's my buying, here's my selling. And if I click on these three dots, here's where I find edit guide. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not share the screen. Let me bring that back in. You're probably wondering, Clark, where are you at? I don't see anything. I did not share. Sorry about that. Let me bring this into the stream. There we go. So we're still here in consumer where we went through the Kelly guide for our site. So when I click on consumer, I'm clicking here at the top that says guide builder. So when I click on guide builder, you'll see my buying and selling guides here. In order to customize these, again, to make them your own, your unique value proposition, you click on the three dots, edit guide, and here's where the work is done. Now the article in the comments section will guide you through this, but this is very, very intuitive, very easy to maneuver and rearrange the steps as you see fit. You can add steps at the very bottom, so there's no limit to which steps you want to create, and even being able to customize these images here. All right, so that's where it's done. Check out the article in the comments. All right, let's keep going here. Back on the app, because what I also want to share with you all is one of my favorites and what we call the money savers. All right. So what consumer or what person out there doesn't love to save money, especially when it comes to the most expensive financial decision we'll ever make as homeowners, as being homeowners or new homeowners or the next homeowners. Let me make sure I got the right one here. There we go. All right. So we're back in the app here. Every single listing, as you view it on the app, will allow the consumer to see how much money they could save on that transaction utilizing the amazing tool that Keller Williams has created for us called Keller Mortgage, and also give them the opportunity to begin to understand how much they could save on home and homeowners insurance through Keller Cover. So let's check this out. I'm just going to click on a listing here real quick. Cute little cabin home. All right, so if I scroll up here, you'll notice under my Your Agent Clark Kendall, it says save up to on this home $4,000. Save up to. So if I click on, well, how do I save $4,000? And that's specific. That $4,080 is specific to the price point of that home. It'll be a different amount based on the purchase price or the list price. All right, so this takes us into a little portal of Keller Mortgage saying, hey, what do I want to do with Keller Mortgage? I want to buy a home. It's all connected to me as the agent. They begin that process, which is a phenomenal experience, 5-star experience. All right. So as you're reaching out, providing value for this app or saying, hey, why would I use your app or why is this app important? Well, do you like to save money? Do you want to see how much money you can save on every single home that's out there on the market? Well, sure. Download my app and check out the Keller Mortgage button. It's right here. Great conversations to have at open houses, or a great follow-up point for any Facebook leads or anybody that you're coming in and trying to build rapport and show them value. Of course, also Keller Covered. I'll click on that link right there. And also we'll take you through the portal to begin the process through knowing how much they could potentially save on homeowners insurance. Amazing tools. All right. So those are the four, the really true value pieces that we can begin adding in our app. A lot of this is just based on our skill set. Well, one, being aware, right? The first step to change is always becoming aware of something. And now that you're aware of these value pieces, begin to think through how you can communicate these at a high level in the ways that you lead generate. and the way that you lead follow up, right? What pieces do we see here are the puzzle pieces you've been looking for to add even more amazing service and value to your real estate experience for your clients and future clients, right? Last piece here that I'll share here, and I won't share a screen on this because there is nothing to share, but what I'll say as far as coming soon, we're really excited about this because I mentioned the co-buyer and co-selling and co-seller experience in the app. That is going to provide a lot more value and a ways for you to communicate directly through the app for the consumer, right? So right now, a lot of this is driven on the opportunity for the consumer to go in the app and experience it, right? We're going to get more and more push notifications for the consumer, you be able to communicate directly with them. And that's going to be through that co-buyer and co-seller experience. Also, you'll notice here, me as a consumer, I created a collection of my own, right? Me as a consumer on my app, I saved that home. I created a new collection called Training Collection, right? So also in the very near future, you as the agent will be able to go into Command and push collections just for that consumer or for everybody that downloaded your app. All right. So you can create agent collections in Command and then push them out to the app. And it could be, again, it could be just a couple of co-sellers, co-buyers. It could be everybody who's downloaded and branded to your app, but you're going to be able to push those to those folks. The nice thing also about this is what you're going to see is one button we didn't talk through in the app yet is the feed. So coming very soon, and in a matter of months, we'll see that the feed begins to bring over the collections that you've created for them, communicates to them so much more than and in a way that they've never been communicated before. It's going to be a very curated experience based on what they're looking to do and what you're communicating to them. All right, so we're excited about that for sure. Other things that are coming down the pike here will definitely be the homeowner experience. Right now, being able to know what their equity, what the state of their equity is for their home or other properties, for them to be able to understand what their home value is, right? So we're going to be able to communicate that through the app as well. So a lot of good things coming. And the biggest opportunity for us is to get this out here. So in those articles that are in the comments, there is one section here. I'll point this out. There'll be the last screen I share here, and then we'll wrap up. In the KW app, get started with the KW app article here. There's a spot here that talks about launch your KW app marketing. There's a specific smart plan called Promote My App Smart Plan that will automatically send an email, give you a task to make a text message. Also, there's walkthroughs of how to create specific marketing collateral or marketing materials within designs, creating social ads, managing those social posts within campaigns. So again, hopefully you've gotten a gauge of how this app can really be a value for the consumer. Well, how do I get the word spread out? Focus on that portion of that article of launching your app marketing. And of course, from there, how you can begin to get engaged in conversation. Last said here, this is kind of a path, a presented path for us to begin to providing this value and to start shouting it from the mountaintops. We're always looking for great examples, great successes within our region. And so if you've experienced some headway, if you've gotten some great consumer experiences or client experiences, gained clients, won over leads, and built great rapport and value with them, we want to hear that. So reach out in the comment section or message us here on the Facebook page or through YouTube and say, hey, here's something that I want to share with the rest of the agents in Keller Williams. We'll bring you on for 5 minutes and allow you to share something on a special live stream just for you. So thanks for taking the time today. Again, if you have any questions, put in the comments, reach out to your Market Center Tech Trainer. I hope this has been of value to discover the value, and we'll catch you the next time here on our Tech Trainers of the Greater Heartland live stream.